Hello, everyone. It is Self-Care Sunday. I tell you. How are you tonight? Tell me about your day. What are you excited for this Self-Care Sunday? Let's see if I can get my view working right here. I don't know if that's going to... Ooh, I'm dropping you here. I'm dropping you all over the place here today. So much for that. Try to fix my connection there, and I dropped you. And what did I send? Oh, I sent my mouse flying somewhere. The mouse is in the trash can. That's what I get going here. How are you tonight? Welcome to Self-Care Sunday. Hey, Carrie and Kitty, how are you? Happy Sunday to you. On this last Sunday of June. We're in June. The Dale and Dazzle are here. Dazzle and the pets of resale. It is treat time. Treat time, I tell you. How is everybody doing this Sunday? I never made it outside today, honestly, or yesterday, but I'm told it's hot out. I've been stuck right here. Hey, Sylvia, how are you? Great to have you here tonight. Oh, well, I'm glad. Sorry you had to work today, Kitty, but thrilled that you had a great day of sales. Let's see if I can get this working right. Thrilled with a great day of sales. We had a good weekend. Today was a little softer. We had a crazy Friday and good Saturday, and so I'll take the weekend. Yes, Sylvia, I know what you spent most of your day working on. I actually have been working on, it's funny, Sylvia, that you mentioned working on the ERTC, because what I was actually working on today is the long-awaited checklist and cleaning that up so that I'd have a nice paperwork checklist for everybody of all the paperwork you need to keep. And all the paperwork you need to have, and it's extensive. It is extensive. The paperwork, the records you need to keep, is extensive. We'll talk about that a little bit tonight. We'll talk about it more when I actually publish the checklist soonish, probably in early July. I'll publish it because I will finish it up. I'll check it off, and then I will have my partner in crime, Angie, make it look pretty. And then she'll probably ask me some other questions on it. But she'll make it. She'll take that is functional, and she'll make it work for everybody. But it is extensive, especially. The key aspect that I gotta keep on reminding you all on is all of this paperwork talked about 3 years. Keep it for 3 years, and there are those in Congress that are trying to change it so that that it is subject to audit for 10 years. 10 years is much different than 3. I've been saying all along, keep it for 5. Okay. But there are those in Congress that are trying to attach a 10-year extension. And it's really, with that, it's not so much that I am worried that people that follow me are out there outwardly committing fraud. Could you have made a typo, a mistake? Sure, we're all human. I'm not worried about outward fraud. We've been talking about since the beginning you couldn't buy a boat. So I don't think anybody, I hope you haven't bought a boat or a land boat. But where somebody's going to get caught up in this is in the bank that they did it with, or the fintech. When you talk about a fintech, you're talking about one of those online banks or those online places that did these government programs. If they have a high audit rate or a high fraud rate, Okay, they're just going to audit all the loans from those banks. And then, somebody completely legitimate, such as yourself, who did everything completely right, is going to get audited 7 years down the road. And your problem is going to come if you can't produce the paperwork. And that is where the problem is. And the more time goes by, the harder that becomes. It really washed over me today, not only as I was getting your questions, Sylvia, today about the ERTC, but just making this checklist. And it's like, oh, I even forgot, because it's not top of mind. It's not something I'm talking about every day anymore. I'm like, oh, I forgot about that. And I forgot about that, just because it's not top of mind, I'm not doing it. It's a couple of years has passed where I was doing this every day. I could rattle it off in my sleep. Cassandra would probably tell you I did rattle it off in my sleep. But when you start pushing 5 years on this and 10 years from when you did it, if Congress gets that approved, which it's probably not going to be hard for them to attach that to some other bill. I would venture a guess that they could tack that on pretty easily to some other bill, and so that's what I worry about with everybody. So and then my checklist will clearly have it. I have it right at the top of my checklist. And is that not only to have a copy of this paperwork, but to have a copy backed up someplace, off-site, in a safety deposit box, in the cloud, someplace where your paperwork is saved, other than in a file. I've got files. But having that saved someplace safe. And I really 100%, my biggest worry is with the people that used the fintechs or the online banks, because those are the ones with the highest fraud rate. Those are the banks currently with the highest fraud rates. And those are the ones most likely to end out in an audit. Although I still expect someone who who has listened regularly, I know we're going to have somebody that's going to get audited. I can put that on my calendar already. But I'm with you, Kitty. I can't remember what I did. I can't remember what I had for dinner tonight, and let alone what I did 10 years later. My brother likes to remind me all the time, oh, we went to this restaurant and we did this. And it's like, yeah, I can't. I deal with things and I move forward. I deal with them and I move forward. But I am creating this whole, I've created all along as I've done this online folder, this backup with all my COVID files. And as I prepare this checklist for everybody, I will, but that's one of my top reminders right at the top, is to keep it. Actually, I have it in red. What Angie will do with it when she makes this pretty is, to keep all the following for 10 years and to scan a copy and have a backup of everything you have, because that's my fear with it. But I'm glad you're working on the ERTC, because we are hitting one of the deadlines for people. We're hitting the 2-year. You have to file for the employee retention credit. You have 3 years from when you filed the form, or 2 years from when you paid the tax to apply for the employee retention credit. How that will be interpreted is iffy in government speak. Do you have 3 years? Do you have 2 years? I'm using the 2-year deadline, which a lot of people for the first, and it's by quarter for the employee retention credit. So for a lot of people, that would be sometime in July that they filed their second quarter 2020 payroll taxes. So that deadline is coming, and there's a lot to do with that. It's also worth noting. Well, let me get started with the Stay Positive book, because I didn't expect to get off on this tonight, but Let's get started with the Stay Positive book, and then I'll tell you what the call I got Friday night from our friends in government told me. We start every night with the Stay Positive book. The Stay Positive book is where we start every night. Tonight, we're on page 90. When we don't get burned out because of what we do, we get burned out because we forget why we do it. Purpose keeps you fresh. Purpose keeps you fresh. Think about that. We don't get burned out because of what we do. We get burned out because we forget why we do it. Purpose keeps you fresh. There you go, folks. That is our Stay Positive tonight. So, I actually got some good news on the employee retention credit from our friends in government Friday night. Government likes to slide things in there on a Friday night. Keep the news, going into the weekend. But actually, this is will be news a week from Monday. Okay, not because it's July 4th, but government. You got to remember, government likes symbolisms. They like acronyms and they like symbols. Okay, and so I heard from our friends in government, because I know I have a lot of people that are still like, is my employee retention credit money ever going to show up? Am I ever going to get that check you talk about in the mail? And I can say, yes, you will. But I found out Friday night, I got a call Friday night, that a big batch of checks is already, while the government is closed on July 4th, they are issuing a bunch of employee retention tax credit checks dated July 4th, going in July 5th's mail, because the mail doesn't work on July 4th. But a whole bunch of checks will be going out with July 4th dates on them. So a large amount of employee retention credit checks. Do I know if yours is in it? I don't specifically know if yours is in it. I know Sylvia's is not in it because she's working on hers today. So I don't know whether yours is in it, but I do know, and I was told I could say, that there is a lot of checks that will be going out, a lot of long-awaited checks that will go out July 5th's mail, dated July 4th. It is a big deal, and it's a lot of money. I don't know whether you will get yours. They also tell me to remind you that government checks can take 4 weeks to arrive via the U.S. Postal Service. So don't call them on July 6th looking for your check that they said that they mailed on July 5th. So, that is good for a lot of you. So hopefully a lot of you will start to get checks in July that have been waiting a long time for them. That would be a good thing. Jason, that is Jason and Tracy. I think it's all of you together. I think you guys share an account, Jason and Tracy. I don't know. What is the employee retention credit? The employee retention tax credit is a credit that stores were eligible for, businesses were eligible for, that were open in 2020 and in 2021. I think you have split personalities. Okay, I got you. You share. I got it. Is a credit that is available to businesses that either had significantly, hey, the Welties are here. Pull up the boat. No boats. Pull up the boat. The employee retention credit was a credit that you are eligible for if you were in business in 2020 and in 2021, and you either had a significant reduction in sales, okay, or you were under government restrictions. Like a lot of stores, especially in the north, were under extended restrictions for a long period of time. The further south you are, and if I remember, you're in South Carolina, If my memory of you guys has me correct, you're somewhere down south. Okay, they had less restrictions, but you can claim this for any period where you had government restrictions imposed. A mask mandate isn't a restriction, but limited occupancy is. Okay, so if your occupancy was limited and you were only allowed to have 50% occupancy, even if you had increased sales, you could claim the credit. For the period of during the restrictions where you were not using PPP funds. And the math gets a little funny. There's a lot to it. We have a lot of it really, for a lot of businesses, can be a lot of money. For many businesses, it's like getting another PPP loan. It's like getting another check to cover your payroll, and it can be quite significant. I have stores getting from thousands to tens of thousands to hundreds of thousands of dollars with this. It really depends on where you're located, your head count, because head count matters, and the amount you had on payroll during the time. But it can be significant. We have all the forms. I actually walk everybody through it. In the forms, we have it at narcs.org/resalestrong, narcs.org/resalestrong. We spell out exactly how to do it. That's what Sylvia was working on today. She was actually working from all the forms at narcs.org/resalestrong. But it can be significant. But for a lot of businesses, it is called the Employee Retention Credit. The Employee Retention Tax Credit, it's either referred to as ERC or ERTC, depending on how you want to view it. Your fine state of Indiana, Jennifer, I know you should be, you would be eligible for it at least through the second quarter of 2020, depending on how we play with, depending on how you ask for forgiveness of your PPP. But most people in Indiana, you'd at least be able to get it through the beginning of July of 2020, and it adds up. It's real money. I worked with another store in Indiana that got, I don't know, 15, 20 grand, I forget. I mean, it's real money. I mean, the funniest part of it all is they actually, the government, and this is why I was talking about the July 4th date, they actually mail checks. You actually get a physical check in the mail. And that really becomes the funny part about it, because everybody's like, well, I'm going to get this electronically or submit it. You submit it in old-fashioned paper. You request it in old-fashioned paper, and they mail you an old-fashioned paper check. But it is about keeping people employed. It's about doing what you did as a small business to keep people employed. So that is huge. So I can't stress that enough. But the first deadline to apply, okay, is coming up here in July, because it is by one of the calendars 2 years from when you first paid the tax for your 941. So if you paid payroll taxes for your 941 for the second quarter, thank you, Jennifer. Thank you. And unlike some of the other government programs, you can use this money for other things. You still can't buy a boat with it, okay? You can't buy a boat with it, but you aren't restricted to spend the money that they send you a check for on payroll. Okay, you are not, you could buy dogs with it if you were putting the dogs to work in your store. Okay. You could use it for poop cleanup. You could use it for dog poop cleanup. You could use it for that. But it is significant, but this is going away. It's also important, I guess, it's worth mentioning. If you had a new business that existed since the pandemic started, okay, if you are a new business and you employed people in the third quarter of 2021, I'm going to get my years right. We're in 2022. Okay, if you employed people in the third quarter of 2021, okay, you can claim this credit on their wages, and you can get a credit back. You get, I call it a credit because that's the way the IRS works, okay, because it is a credit, but they mail you a check, real money. You can get 70% back on every employee in the third quarter of 2021 that you employed if you are a new business since the pandemic started. So that is eligible to you as well. So that was one of the weird things. It was supposed to be third and fourth quarter 2021. It only became the third quarter of 2021 because we had to pay for infrastructure and the government stole the money for that from the fourth quarter. But for your payroll in the third quarter of 2021, you can get that. And if you are a newer business, regardless of your state, regardless of your sales, regardless of anything, the only requirement is that you employed people and you paid them. You employed them and paid them. So that is, if you are a new business since February of 2020, since the middle of February 2020. So there you go. There's a lot to it. The paperwork is complicated, but it is all, we have done all the samples. Sylvia did a good job because it's been a while since I've had somebody actually, contact me while they're doing it during the day today. And, Sylvia, I'm picking on you, Sylvia, but she did contact me today while she was doing it, and had several questions but all that stuff is there. It's Sylvia, you are correct. And there's Sylvia with another question. Sylvia, the earnings cap is $10,000 for the year. It's the first $10,000 in earnings during 2020. You get half back per employee. Okay, so half back per employee for 2020 on the first $10,000 in earnings. No, you're fine. You're fine. Nothing to be sorry for. This has obviously struck a chord with people tonight. Not what I had on my list tonight, but it struck a chord with people. When I start giving money away, like I was Uncle Sam, it is the first $10,000 in earnings paid with non-PPP money during 2020. You get half back, okay. And during 2021, it's the first $10,000 per employee per quarter. You get 70% back. So you get $7,000 per employee per quarter in 2021. It adds up quickly. But you like it when I give money away. Well, you should see my one. Did you watch the one in Next Level this week, Julie? Or I think it dropped today, the one in Next Level. I'm actually throwing money up for grabs. Money's up for grabs. Well, I better watch out, or my peanut gallery will come in here and take my money. But there's money up for grabs, people. Whoa, there's money all over the place in here. But I haven't watched yet. Oh, it's a good one. I had money. I'm probably still going to find money all over the place in here. I'm going to have to watch out for my peanut gallery. They're going to come and take my money. Because I know you've done, I don't think you were here on the early side of this tonight, Julie. What I said earlier is that people that have already got their ERTC things submitted, and I don't know who, because I didn't get an exhaustive database from the government on Friday night when they called me, but I was told a lot of checks are going out, very symbolic. Okay, the government is trying to say we support small business and fighting inflation and all this. I try to keep the politics out of it, except for I'll work with them when they're giving me money. I'll work with them when they're giving small businesses money. I'll work with their PR stunt. So the IRS is sending out a bunch of employee retention checks dated July 4th. They're putting them in July 5th's mail. I don't know whose. I just know that they're sending a lot of checks July 5th. Hey, Ellen, how are you? And I know Ellen is waiting on her checks. So a lot of checks will be going out July 5th for this, dated July 4th. Very patriotic. Your government cares about its communities and its small businesses, and that is why they are mailing out these checks July 4th. I don't know officially that your check is in the pile, Ellen. I did not get to ask that question. I'm coming back to DC the end of July to meet with your friends in government, but I did get this call Friday night, and I was told I could actually say this online tonight. I was told they want your government wanted to get this in Sunday's show. They think you people listen to me. I don't know where they get these ideas. But remember, that should show up as one check for every quarter that you applied for, and the checks may show up in no particular order. But my last part of when you get the check, do not forget to make a copy of it. And there are lots of other things I've talked about of why you want to make a copy of it, but make a copy of the check before you deposit it. And we will, and I will have my checklist by the time you get the check. I am working hard on my checklist. I've actually got a nice amount of that done, because now that the government wants to talk about you having to keep your paperwork for 10 years, 10 years, keep the paperwork. I want to make sure even more so that you keep all of this in. I thought I'd talk a tiny bit earlier. I got too many screens going here. Oh, we're already out here tonight. We are less than 6 months from Christmas. Less than 6 months. Bummer. It may have been 90 outside today, but we are less than 6 months from Christmas. And not that that's going to get me to start to do my Christmas shopping, because, there's plenty of time between now and December 25th. But what I thought I'd mention is, I talked about it briefly before. We start taking fall and winter on clothing for our clothing stores on June 1st. On June 1st, we start accepting it. It's now hitting the floor, okay, which is great. And people are buying it, okay? In June, it's 90 degrees out. And we're selling heavy sweaters at full price, okay? But even more so, our online customers are buying it. Okay, I mean, we had this heavy J. Jill sweater, go out to California today, I noticed, okay? So don't get in your customers' minds, okay? That whole Christmas in July thing, or that buying things, people are in a buying mode when they see quality, when they see a good value, okay? Not a sale, but a good value, okay? They will purchase it. And so we are already selling. I'll have a stat. I'll try to work on a stat for next week for you on what we've already sold through of winter. Of what we've priced of winter merchandise, because it's cuckoo. It's cuckoo. And it'll even be more during our July, when we clearance summer. We'll sell even more winter. It's counterintuitive when you see the sunshine and you see the barbecues and you see all the people at the beach and everything else. But people will buy it. People will buy this stuff. So I never second guess somebody with cash. Okay, so if they want to spend, if their credit card is good, I want to take it. I am the business that accepts their credit card. So when they get it out, I am there for them. So just be open to that. Don't sell out of your pocket is what I'm telling you. Okay. And I'll pick on Ellen because she's actually at the beach. Okay. I'll pick on Ellen at the beach. Okay. In her beach dress today and everything else, and in summer colors and everything else. Okay. But okay, people will buy some winter stuff too. Okay. I mean, people are nuts. That don't sell out of your own pocket just because your mind is all at the beach. Don't forget, some people are thinking of they've already booked their ski trip for next winter or their fall trip, and different things. We booked a cabin at the end of August, which might be fall weather, might still be some summer weather, in the Berkshires, in the mountains here in Western Massachusetts. So you never know. Beachy fun, yes. You never know. You never know. So that's what I tell you. But you would be surprised at the amount of winter we have already sold. It is cuckoo, and I know my employees think we're cuckoo sometimes, but that is, it's serving the needs of your customers. And part of that comes from kids, okay, and that's where we started with clothing, was with kids. And parents always will pick up a great value in kids clothing, even out of season. If it's a great quality item, they'll buy ahead for their kids, but they'll buy ahead for themselves too. So don't sell yourself short. Don't sell out of your own pocket. Don't sell out of your own mind. Okay, follow what the big guys do. Follow what the big guys do, because it's so important what the big guys do with that. It is really amazing. And so that is what I try to learn from and try to follow from, to be a better retailer. Because you are all retailers at the end of the day. But we are fulfilling people's dreams. You got to remember that. You may be a retailer because you sell goods, but ultimately we are fulfilling the dreams of our customers. Okay, I like to look at it that way. I fulfill dreams. That is what I do each and every day. That is what my stores do. Actually, I got this new thing behind me. I've had this sign on the wall in front of me forever that says "It is what it is." Okay, and that is true. And I got this new sign this weekend. It is what it is, but it will become what you make of it. It is what it is, but it'll become what you make of it. So take that to heart. Put that in your mind. Put that in your mind, folks. As we kick off this final week of June, you got 4 days, people. 4 days to knock this month out of the park. Knock this month out of the park, okay? We are going to kick it right out of the park here, and into a great holiday weekend. Do not forget that, okay? We are going to kick it out of the park. Here, you got 4 days to make an awesome June, an amazing June. And it is still in your cards, okay? If it's not happening in your store, get on your live videos. Send out your emails, send out your text alerts, but make this June something to jump for, okay? You can do it. You can do it. There is still plenty of time. 4 days is a lot of time to change your numbers, to change your trajectory, to make out of it what you will make out of it, so that it isn't what it is, but it will become what you make it. So roll with that, people. Roll with that. And you know what else you can roll with? This video and everything I talk about. This video and everything I talk about goes over to narcs.org/resale strong by noon the next day. Everything, the video, the links, all the stuff on the employee retention credit, everything is over there, including a direct link to the YouTube channel. You're not alone running this store. where you can like, comment, subscribe, and oh yes, ring that bell. Ring it so you know when another one drops. You can also share it with everybody you know in business, the butcher, the baker, the candlestick maker, so we can help everybody be better in business. That is our goal. I am here every Sunday and Wednesday at more 8 than ish. Sunday and Wednesday, more 8 than ish. But if you have a question in between, you can just email me, Neil, Neil at ECIstores.com, Neil at ECIstores.com. We start this program every night with the Stay Positive book. That's how we roll. Stay positive, people. Tonight we're on page 90. We don't get burned out because of what we do. We get burned out because we forget why we do it. Purpose keeps you fresh. Positivity is like a boomerang. The more we put it out there, the more it comes back to us. Optimism is a competitive advantage. Yes, it is. The only person who can limit your possibilities is you. Yes, you can limit your possibilities. Don't limit you. Ladies and gentlemen, I am Neil Abramson. I do like a good party, a wedding, a bar mitzvah. The Narts in-person conference was amazing. The fall one will be great. Can't wait to see you there. Until then, and until Wednesday at more 8 than ish, know that you, but most importantly you, yes you, you're not alone running this store. Have a great night, everybody. I'll see you on Wednesday. I've trivia then, too.